Okay, this is the fifth little movie on Introduction to Excel. In this one, we're going to talk about formulas. And in general, in formulas in Excel, you're always going to use the equal key to start the formula. So what I'm going to show you today is how you can add things up, how you can average them, how you can determine the percentage that one number is of the total, and how you can find the differences between numbers. But the important point is to remember that that's all done through a formula. So the formula for always, as I said, starts with a zero, with an equal sign. I'm sorry, and you always want to put the answer, know where the answer you want is here. So we're going to do the sum of these numbers here. So we're going to start our formula with equals, and we want it to equal this cell plus, and I hit the plus sign, this cell and plus, this cell and plus, this cell and plus, and this cell. Alright, and that equals 288. Now I'm going to show you down here the same thing. There's another way you can do it. If you remember your high school um, geometry or algebra, there was this funny number that looks like this, the sigma, capital sigma, and it's the sum formula. So if you're just going to add numbers, the quick way to do it is to say sum, and it'll ask you which numbers. Now, because we've already got the sum in here, we only want to do these numbers, okay? And then we hit enter, and we get the same answer. So if you look at this one, it says B2 plus B3 plus B4 plus B5 plus D6. This one will say sum of B2 through B6. So there's two different ways you can add numbers up. Sum is clearly the better way. It goes much faster. You just have to be very careful that you only highlight the cells you want it to add. If I had included this one, we would have gotten a double number. So you have to be careful to highlight the correct cells. Okay, so now let's take the average of these cells. So we want the average right here. So what we're going to do is, I'm sorry, we want the average right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, this one gets a little more tricky. So we want to do the equals, and we want to do the average, we always want to add these four up and then divide them by 4. I mean, add these 5 up and divide by 5. But what makes it difficult in in Excel is that you have to remember your algebra, because if you put in all of these numbers and then divide by 5, it's actually going to make it the wrong formula, because you want to make it add the numbers up and then divide by 5. So the way you do that, and I'm up here in this box up here, the way you do that is by putting in a parentheses. So you want it to do this number plus this number plus this number plus this number plus this number, and then we want to put in a closed parentheses up there, because we want it to know that we're going to treat that total as one number. And then we're going to divide, and the divide sign is the slash sign, and there were 5 numbers, so we're going to divide by 5. I just typed in the 5, and then I hit enter, and I get the average. Again, here I get the number, the value here, and the formula up here. It's okay. So that's another way you can get the average. Now, there's also in Excel a formula that's called AVG, and it'll tell you, it counts, it adds up the numbers and it counts how many there are, and it does it for you. So there's another way, an easier, faster way to do it. We did this before, but I'm going to show you again. This time I'm going to use the 16 and the 288, because we don't want it as a percentage of the average. So again, it's this number divided by this number, but we remember we have to make that an absolute, because we don't want it to jump all over the place and make us look like we don't know what we're doing. And then we're going to say enter, and then we're going to copy that down to here, hit enter. Now this time I'm actually going to format it so that you can see what it looks like. Format these cells. Format these cells as a percentage, and we're going to do two decimal points. So that's okay. And now I'm going to So you see that that's there, and now I'm going to add these cells and see what we get. So we're going to do um, sum of those cells, hit enter, it's 100%. Okay. Finally, I'm going to show you one more um, step, and that's to find the differences. So if we take the differences again, you start with equals this cell minus this cell and hit enter, and you get the difference. You do that, copy it down, and hit enter, and you get the answer. Well, now here with the difference is that we got 0. We don't have an answer here. We didn't sum it here, so it comes out to be minus 288. But these are the differences. Okay, we'll do we'll do functions in the next set.